So I want you to look right here. I've taken some pictures this week, but this is even better. This is elderberry, and you can see it's in the flowering stage. I have a video or two on elderberry and how to identify it. But right now, they're at the end, in our area at least, they're in the end of kind of blooming season. You can identify them that way. It's a good way to note where they are because they're beautiful and bright and white. As they go from this and lose the blooms, they transition, and you can see some of the dried blooms and just remnants of it. Now you have berries forming. Check that out. Bloom to berry. They're never going to get to cobbler because I'm going to eat them all. So welcome to Appalachia's Homestead. Guys, right now we are in the midst of in-between berry seasons. Blueberry versus black raspberry, and then of course your blackberries. We always have black raspberries first, and it's a kind of a confusing topic because you look at them and you go, is that a blackberry? Is that a raspberry? So let's talk about a few differences. There's other differences that you probably know and can add at the bottom in comments. So be sure to do that. But right now I'm picking both. We're at the end of black raspberry season, but we're coming into blackberry season because it's almost July 4th, and that's typically when we start getting blackberries here in Southeast Tennessee. But we've had a lot of black raspberries this year. Check them out. This is a perfect way to identify. It has no blooms, it has no berries, it ain't got nothing, honey. I want you to look though at this stem right here and check this out. The leaves and the stem. Do you notice that the stem, this long stem right here, while it does have thorns and it will have berries and whatnot, what you're looking at is the color. See how it's kind of bluish, whitish? I mean, it looks like something that should be off of Scooby-Doo. The main thing I want you to note, and which a lot of people will tell you, is look how smooth it is. There's no ridges in there. That's a key identification point in black raspberry versus blackberry. See exactly what I'm talking about? You see what I mean? Look at that versus this. Black raspberries around here also are typically smaller. These are kind of smaller. And when you take them off, I want you to see how hollow that is right there inside. Also, they're a little bit sweeter when you start to enjoy them than your typical blackberry. So we have to work really hard to get our berries, and basically when you see a bunch ripening, you better go get them because you can see right here, we compete big time with a ton of deer on our property. This year, because of all of the new fencing that we have, it's kind of helped us out, but it didn't take them too long and they quickly figured out where all the ripe berries were. So this may be my final picking for the black raspberry. Looky here. Okay, so we are over in an area where I have blackberries as opposed to the black raspberries, okay? Very easy to confuse, but once you understand what you're looking for, they're very easy to identify and see the difference. But in terms of the stem, I'm trying to not get my fingers tore up here. Look at this stem right here. Can you see this? Let me back up. Okay, that's a little bit better. Look here. The stem is green, matches almost the foliage perfectly. You do have the little thorns, you know, that want to just grab onto your clothing and snag your arm, but notice the ridges in here. Unlike the black raspberry, it is not smooth. It's not that eerie, bluish, whitish color. It's green and it has ridges. So if everything else fails you, look at the shape of the actual stem. Now, I've already been through here picking a lot of the larger berries, so this is kind of what's left over. You're going to see also that when you literally pick them, they're not hollow. They're not like a little cap. A lot of folks call the black raspberry a cap. It's kind of a nickname. That's not really the situation that you're going to have with the blackberries. And especially as they get larger and they get juicy and thick, they elongate a lot more than typically your black raspberry. All right, guys, final comparison. We have 2 black raspberries up here, and we have 2 yummy blackberries right down here. Again, what I want you to see is the shape, even in some of the larger berries. Notice the cap. See what I'm talking about? This is the black raspberry, and when you pull it off, it's hollow on the inside. It's more rounded, like a little cap. And then, of course, you have your traditional wild blackberry. They become more elongated and full, almost like a large cluster of grapes. So besides your stems and other things that we've already talked about, check out the shape of the berry. They are totally different.